Welcome to the tutorial for Surefoot's Auto, the auto buyer by Surefoot. The auto buyer has been around since December 2019. It's been a very big success and is more publicly available for FIFA 22. When you purchase the auto buyer through my store, the link's in the description, you'll receive an email with both a link to install the extension, as it is a separate extension from Classic Surefoot, as well as your code to redeem your access. So as simple as installing the extension, popping your code in, and hitting redeem, and you'll get access to the auto buyer. In this tutorial, I will go over all the features of the bot so you can feel comfortable using it yourself. Before we actually jump into the settings themselves, let's talk about how the bot works. It's quite simple. You will set your filter up on the transfer market page, hit start, and the bot starts going. The way it works typically is you will set a max bin value, so let's, for sake of example, just say 5,000. And the bot, once it starts, will start incrementing the minimum buy now price each search to get refresh results. Now, if you choose to set a minimum buy price, let's say you're trying to filter out a specific set of cards, and for example, let's put 3,000. In this case, what will happen is the bot will use the min bid price, essentially go all the way up to 3,000 here, and then reset. So that's how the basic bot works. So let's just keep this in mind as we start going through the options. All right, so let's jump in to the options now. So simply click on the extension icon up in the bar. There's a set of options here. We're going to go through each one. We're actually going to start with the bot configuration. Here you'll see the first option is the mode. You can choose. You could use the bot in an auto sniper mode, or you could use it in a bidder mode. The bidder is a newer feature of the bot. It's quite simple at this point. Simply put in the bid value you're willing to go up to. Choose if you always just want to bid that value right away, or just bid the next highest value, and then how long the bot runs for. It's simple as that. And really we won't go into it much more at this time. So let's start working through the snipe options. The first set of options is the filter configuration. As I just explained, how the bot typically works is you set a max bin value and the bot just goes. But a valid question is, how does the bot know to go back to zero essentially? Well, the reset price is how that's determined. This is the value that you choose, that you want the bot to go up to, and before it resets back to zero. So in this example, as the bot's currently configured, my max bin is 5,000 and my reset price is 2,500. So what that means is when I click start, the bot will start incrementing the min bin value all the way up to 2,500 before it resets back to zero. This is important really just to get refreshed results. The way the web app works is if you issue the same search multiple times in quick succession, you're going to get cached results and you're not going to actually see the true state of the transfer market. That's why the reset price is used. So that might be a problem, however, for smaller value cards. So let's say I wanted to snipe really low value cards, let's say 350. The bot's only going to have so much room before it starts incrementing both values. So what we're going to do here is we're going to keep 350 there, and then look at the second option in the filter configuration setting, which is the secondary max buy now price value. What this value is basically a way to get fresher results more often. So if I have my max bin set at 350, 300 might be a valid reset price. However, that's going to obviously go very quickly and likely to get not fresh results. So in this scenario, what I might do is I might set my secondary max buy now price to 450. So what will happen in this case is the bot will go up to 300, reset back to zero, and then increment the max bin value to 400, start again, to 450, start again, and then go back to my original value, which is 350. This is most of the time you can leave this value at zero. However, if you want to use it for low value cards, that's the way you use it. And then finally, the last option in this section is the follow-up action. after the bot snipes a card, you get to choose what happens to it. Currently, there's 4 options. You could list the card right away, and you could choose the values here. You can send it to your transfer list, you could send it directly to your club, or you could do nothing. This just leaves the card unassigned for you to handle later. This might be valuable if you simply want to do a single card, but these are the typical actions that are used for most people. Alright, let's continue on to the next set of options, which is under the safety header. There are 2 very simple options here. The first option is to just stop the bot if there are multiple pages of results. Typically, when you're sniping cards, you're expecting 1, maybe 2 results to pop up. However, maybe you have a stale filter, or maybe you accidentally started the bot without finishing your filter, etc. Maybe you're not paying attention. It's very common, especially among you guys. So this option was added to stop the bot quickly if we see multiple pages of results to prevent you from losing coins, essentially. By default, this is on. I recommend keeping it on, but if you have a specific use case that you want to turn it off, you are more than welcome to do that. The other option in this header, this section, is the minimum coin balance. You could use this basically to set a stopping point for the bot. If you fall below the specific coin balance, the bot's going to stop. There's also a convenient link here that will just pull your current coin balance from the web app, so you could quickly modify that as you wish. Okay, let's move on. The cycle configuration options. What's a cycle? The cycle is basically the on and off period of the bot. This basically gives you an option to seem a little bit more human, non-bot like. Truly, there's no set recommendations here. Like with most things that are against terms of service, EA doesn't typically publish what they look for when looking for a bot. So maybe they care about this, maybe they don't, but this can give you some option to basically look a little more human. This might be like a typical setup here, and the way you could read this essentially is there'll be 3 cycles. There'll be 3 cycles of an on period and an off period. So in this current setup, the bot will run for 10 minutes, then it'll stay idle for 5 minutes, and that's completing 1 cycle. And then that will repeat 2 more times for a set of 3 cycles. It's very straightforward. Again, use this as you will. There's no strong recommendation here. Obviously, the longer you run the bot, typically the riskier it is. However, there are plenty of users who will run this bot overnight without having any issues. The next and last section is the iteration configuration. What's an iteration? An iteration is essentially, and actually this is a good time to mention, you could hover over these light bulbs to kind of get a little bit of a description, as well as hover over all the settings to give you a quick description of what they do. But an iteration is essentially the search, the buy, and the follow-up action. How long is that going to take you? So currently the bot's set up to be a minimum of 2,000 milliseconds to 2,500 milliseconds, so 2 to 2.5 seconds. There's also other small randomizations thrown in to look a little more human-like again, but that's essentially what it is. Typically, you really don't want to go lower than like 1,500, but really, again, it's all black box. We don't know the right values. EA doesn't tell us that, unfortunately. An iteration that you could consider relatively safe and see lots of results is something like this, 2,500 to 4,500, but really it's whatever works best for you. If you're using this like in a very burst scenario where you're trying to snipe a single card, I myself might go as low as like 750 to 1,200 to get some really fast searches going. But again, it's all depending on your use case. If you're going for a quick burst, or if you're trying to go for a longer period of time, you may adjust this. Obviously, smaller iteration times will result in the bot moving faster, and then obviously you're more likely to get a soft ban or a capture requirement. Another important note about iteration time is that you really need to give the bot time to do everything it needs to do. Usually when people complain that the bot isn't doing the follow-up action correctly, it's because their iteration time is just simply too fast. If the bot runs out of time to do the search by and the follow-up action, the card will likely go unassigned once you win it. So just keep that in mind as you set up these values. Okay, that covers all of the bot configuration options. Like I said, pretty straightforward. I hope that was helpful. Let's go back and move on. We'll move on to the Discord alert settings. The Discord alert settings basically are a way to provide you some logging information. So the options are relatively straightforward, I think. The first thing that you need to fill out is your Discord ID. You can get this value by following these instructions. This is another YouTube video I didn't make, but it's very succinct and it's very quick to get that value. So get that value, pop it in here, and move on. The next setting is the CAPTCHA alert webhook. So there's two options here. You can leave this blank. As part of your purchase, you got invited to the Shortflots Auto Discord server. That Discord server has more or less been retired at this point. The only thing that's sticking around is the CAPTCHA alerts channel if you don't want to set up your own. When you get a CAPTCHA, the bot will notify you via Discord that, hey, the bot stopped because of the CAPTCHA. You need to go solve that when it's convenient for you. I would recommend personally to solve it when pretty much as soon as you can, but there are lots of people who leave it for hours and really don't have any issues. Again, black box, I don't know what EA does. Again, I just recommend to solve it as fast as you can, but there you go. So you can use the Shortflots Auto server for that. However, I really do recommend to create your own. I actually made a separate YouTube video already kind of showing how to do that. Just create your own server on Discord, create a channel, and then what you're going to do is get a webhook URL. And again, watch that video if you need instructions on how to get that. The last option on this page is the logging channel webhook. So this is for not as urgent alerts, essentially. There are different types of notifications that are available. Right now, the list is down here. It'll notify you when the on part of the cycle ends. So it'll just so you can kind of keep an eye on how the bot is moving. You can get notified when a card appears. So is your filter actually showing results? You can get notified when a card is bought. I do qualify this with probably. Right now, it's a little difficult to actually tell when a card is truly purchased based on the web app. However, I do look to improve this in the very short future. And then the last option is notifying you when the bot is stopped. This will tell you when the bot stopped, why it stopped, and also kind of give you a rundown of how many searches were completed, how many cards were seen, and how many cards were, again, probably purchased. Instructions for actually filling in the webhook are the same as above. The only difference being is that this is completely on you. You need to create a server, you need to create your own channel, and you need to create your own webhook to get these types of alerts. I highly recommend doing it. I think it's a great feature of the auto buyer. It's very straightforward. I believe in you. You can do it. So set it up. Okay, so that is the Discord alerts, the logging settings. It's very straightforward. Go set it up. It'll be useful. The next set of settings here is the sound settings. Right now, it's basically the same set of options as the Discord alerts, but you could also play sounds locally. So this may be helpful if you don't want to set up the Discord alerts for some reason, or if you just want to have an audio cue if you're on your computer doing something else, etc. You could tick these boxes to have a sound played when these events happen. The CAPTCHA sound is my favorite sound, so I definitely recommend keeping that one on at all times and your volume as high as possible, just to make sure you don't miss it. Okay, and the last section here is the profiles. Essentially, a profile is a collection of all your other settings saved. So typically what people might do is they might have different profiles set up for different options. basically the idea here is you set up all your other settings that we've already gone over, come over here, you click save, and then at any time you can come back in and hit load and basically load up all those settings to get the bot in the right spot for whatever your thing you're trying to snipe. So this is super useful. Right now there's 5. Maybe this gets expanded in the future, but 5 has seemed like a pretty good set for whoever, for people using it. So recommend using it. It's great to quickly save and load settings. So you're not constantly going in here and mucking around with all these settings. Okay, so those are the settings. Let's do a demo. Actually, quickly before we do that, let's just talk about how we even start the bot. There's 2 ways to start the bot. Come in here, click the start button, or you can click shift and spacebar when in the app. This will both start and stop it depending on the current state. The other option is the test run option. Essentially, this runs the bot with all the same settings you have. The only difference being is that it will not actually try to buy the cards. This is most useful for maybe when you first download the bot and really trying to figure out the iteration time. That's like the only, this is the biggest value of that. So yeah, so with all that being said, let's actually do a demo. Okay, and with that, let's actually start the demo. I already have a filter loaded up here. We'll walk through the settings really quickly just to make sure everything looks good. We'll do a reset price of 300. We'll do a secondary max buy of 450. We'll list the cards right away for some quick flips. We'll do a faster iteration time for the sake of the demo to hopefully catch a card or 2. And yeah, everything looks great. So let's go ahead. The filter's set up. We'll click start. We do get a warning here just to make sure that you meant to start the bot with an empty player name. This is just a precaution just to make sure you don't accidentally buy anything you don't mean to. So I don't want this here, so we'll click OK. I'm okay with this being empty, so I'll click OK to start the bot. And the bot just starts doing its job. Okay, there you go. I think I caught that. Okay, and look, the bot stopped here because there's lots of values. That's fine. In this scenario, it probably would have been okay if the bot kept going, but listen, that's a setting. I set it up. So we'll go here, and yeah, we'll check. Yep, so we're able to catch this gold Tottenham player, listed it for 600. Hopefully that flips soon. So, we can try that again, see if we can get some more cards. So I'll reset my filter up here. I'll actually go in here. I feel pretty confident in my setup that I'll go in here and actually untick this box just to make sure we don't lose any deals. We'll start the bot again and let it do its thing. And more or less this is the bot. So yeah, we're gonna run. Caught a card there. We did see a glitch there that that sometimes it may miss buying. Again, something to fix, but isn't gonna kill you. And you may also notice that we're not buying the top card. By default, the bot will try to select the last card on the list to presumably give you a better chance of purchasing it. So there's a little optimization there. So yeah, so this is the demo. You can see it working really easily. Another thing people often ask is, can the bot work minimized? Can it work, etc. in a different tab? So as an EA anti-bot measure, basically part of the screen needs to be visible at all times. And when I say part of the screen, I mean the smallest part of the screen that you may want. So let me quickly open up let me get a window just for a demo. Just want to make sure I'm not leaking anything. This all looks fine. So, imagine this is your full monitor. You can do something, like this. This counts as visible. This is completely fine. The bot will continue to work as expected. You can do your work. You could watch YouTube. I don't care what you do. And as an example, so like just for proof of concept, let's just cover this completely. What I expect to happen is that the bot's not going to work anymore. So let's just go from there. Let's close this. And yeah, as you can see, it's frozen. It's not working anymore. This is completely by design. Again, just make sure part of the bot is visible. I'm gonna stop it manually here just to make sure nothing's wrong. So let's go here. When you stop it, you get that kind of summary. This would also be sent to your Discord if you have that enabled. We can go over to my transfer list, and yeah, see, I got a bunch of these gold Premier League players, and already all listed for 600. One sold, awesome. So yeah, so that's a demo. That's how the bot works. Just trying to think if there's anything left to cover. I don't think there is. So yeah, I hope this tutorial was valuable for you. If you have any further questions, please feel free to drop by the Discord server. There's a whole community of people that are friendly, willing to help. Just ask a specific question. Don't ask for filters, and we'll be friends. So yeah, so thanks for watching. Don't subscribe. Don't bother liking the video. I'm not a YouTuber, but I hope this is helpful. Take care.